Look, bullying was part and parcel of life, I suppose, growing up in high school, whether it be sometimes verbal or sometimes physical bullying. It was tough, I think, for most students, but it was a journey that everyone experienced, or a lot of my friends definitely experienced at school, particularly during the high school years. Bullying is always hard. As a young person, I think it affects you more than most, and it makes it difficult. Do you share it? Is it a sign of weakness if you've been bullied? Is it a sign of strength if you fight back? It was very hard at the time, and in retrospective, it still was probably difficult and a more difficult time of my life. It also taught you the differences about people, and as I've grown older, to learn that perhaps it's the bullies that have more concerns and issues with their identity than perhaps you who are coming to terms with yours. If I look back upon particularly the later high school years, I probably was in a circumstance where I probably wasn't as mentally healthy as I should be. I think coming to terms with sexuality and dealing with the highs and the lows and the depression and the concerns around that definitely impacts your mental health. It's also impacted family and friends of mine as well. So I definitely know firsthand that going through that journey can be a challenging one. Often through the journey of coming out, you have difficulties around your own mental health, and it requires sometimes time to talk to professional people and counsellors and share your experiences and concerns with them. So it has definitely been close, and I know through the journey of life, I'm sure it will approach again through family, friends or yourself, and it does impact a lot of Australians. During your high school years, you go through a lot of concerns or journeys around mental health, and you have moments of depression or moments of sadness and sort of moments of extreme happiness as well. Mental health's an interesting thing in that it affects people in different ways. I've got family members who've had mental illness and friends and family in the broader community. I have known people in my life very close to me who have considered suicide and the impact that has on them. There were moments of probably extreme darkness in my life when I came out as well, and fortunately I don't think I considered at that time that was an option out for me. I've always tried to look positively even through those difficult moments, but I have had people quite close in my life experience that, and that has an impact on you as you try to support them or reflecting upon you and your journeys as well. Belonging is a very challenging thing when you're coming out, and belonging is really important throughout your life, but I've most definitely had moments of my life where I haven't felt I fitted in, and I haven't felt where I've belonged. It's much better now, I suppose, for me. I'm really enjoying my life and my friends and my family, but there were definitely moments where you don't fit in, and it's important to keep thinking about those and continue to focus on what might be there tomorrow. If you are questioning your sexuality or gender identity, or you are a member of the LGBTI community, or you are different in some way, I think very much this is something you feel, you often feel like you don't belong and that you're not particularly welcome. And there's kind of critical moments where I felt, and I can remember one in particular where I did feel I belonged. It was where you start to develop a sense of community, perhaps outside of school and across friends and family who share similar values to you. So feeling like you don't belong is often part of the journey of teenagehood, and it definitely was part of mine. And you need to keep working through that and find your sense of community. I realised life gets better when I first started meeting people who were or formed the basis of the community I have today. So people who might have a similar background or a similar culture or similar identity or similar circumstances. For me, life really did get better when you find your first friend or your first partner or your first mate that has a similar view or similar background to you. Look, growing up and going through life, you often have, and I definitely did have, very difficult periods of my life. For me, holding firm to things like determination and holding firm on sort of what the future might be and being persistent at things really meant a lot in helping me get through those moments. I had a number of difficult periods in my life, and for me, overcoming them was always more about focusing on tomorrow. So having the determination, will, the self-belief, believing in myself that I could get through it. You know, it is going to get better and it will be okay, and I'd really encourage you to talk to somebody about it. I'd encourage you to find a friend and find a shoulder to cry on and find someone to laugh with. It is really difficult, and journeys are difficult for all of us, and they're all different. So nobody really knows what you're going through except yourself. But it does get better. You just need to find a friend to cry and find a friend to laugh and seek some help if you need it, because we all cross these journeys differently, and know that people like me and family and friends are all there to support you as well.